Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. So the other video that I shared with you all was green smoothies, and I was using chickweed and dandelion, and today you're going to help me make some pesto out of chickweed and dandelion. So I'm going to set the camera up a little bit differently so you can focus on what I'm doing down here, but a couple things I wanted to talk to you about before that. First of all, cheese and cheese storage. When we buy cheese, generally it comes in little cheese body bags. They're plastic, and cheese doesn't keep very good in those. And a couple of years ago, I found this. It is at a place called Formaticum, FORMATICUM.com, and the bags are long-lasting. I've shared a lot of these with friends and family, and I'm actually down to my last two, so I'm going to order some more. A package is like $9, but they last a long time, and you don't have to, they'll get a little crinkly and stuff, but it's fine, and your cheese will not go moldy, your cheese will taste great, your cheese will last a really long time. So I just thought I'd share that with you. Yeah, so I'm going to flip this thing down and we'll get started on making some pesto. All right, I think y'all can see me there. So a little while ago, I cut up 2 cloves of garlic, and I think y'all remember I said if you cut the garlic up beforehand and allow it to just sit for a little while, the medicinal qualities become stronger in it. And so this particular recipe takes about 2 cups of chickweed or basil. Now right now I have no basil. We just had snow here 2 days ago and bad frost, and it took out the forsythia, it took out my beautiful weeping cherry tree. We had peaches blooming. My neighbor and I had peach trees blooming, and I don't think we're going to get any peaches out of this year. So anyway, I'm just putting about 1/4 teaspoon of coarse salt and some peppercorns in there, and that is going to help me get again, using my little mortar and pestle, it's going to help me get this stuff to start mashing up. Right now, this is garlic from last year from my garden, and what I would say, if you're using garlic, take these little green things out. It's fine if I'm making a soup or a stew or something like that, I might leave them in, but for something like pesto, they tend to be bitter tasting, and so I take them out. So to these 2 cloves of garlic, I'm going to start breaking up and adding in about 1/4 cup of walnuts. You could use pine nuts. The only issue I have with pine nuts is they seem to go rancid rather quickly, and when I buy my walnuts and almonds and stuff, I either blanch them or soak them overnight and then run them through the dehydrator. And the reason I do that is to take out some of the tannins and the things that make it hard to digest the nuts, and also if there's any I don't know, any bacteria or things on them that you don't want, by cleaning them, soaking them, or blanching them and then dehydrating them, any of those issues are taken care of. So yeah, so this is getting started. These are grinding up nicely, and it smells really good. Once I get this part started and I start adding the greens to this, I will transfer it over to the blender that I've got set up on the counter over there, because although I love this thing, it's way too small for this massive amount of greens. But we're going to start by putting in some of the dandelion. And in addition to the dandelion and the chickweed, I've got just a couple of pieces of parsley. My parsley's just starting to come up. And my true oregano is also just starting to come up. And you can see that. When you have, if you're going to look for oregano, there's a couple different types of plants, and the true oregano will have white blooms on it, and that's how you know it's true oregano. And then there are other things that are also oregano, but they will have pink blooms on them, and so they are, quote, not the true oregano. So, telling you all these little things, but yeah. So the other thing I wanted to, or I can talk to you about now while I'm doing this, is you can freeze pesto. Some places I've read recommend that you don't put the cheese into the pesto if you're going to freeze it. But I haven't had any problems freezing pesto with cheese in it, and normally it doesn't last very long around here because, you know, there's so many things to enjoy pesto on. So putting it on, you know, just use it as a dip with vegetables, or, you know, putting it on any kind of pasta dish, and using it as a sauce on things, so it doesn't, I don't have any problems with it going bad. But anyway, if you're wanting to freeze it, all I've done is a sheet of wax paper on my cookie sheet, and then I'll just make little clumps of the pesto and throw this in the freezer, and then once it's frozen solid, I can take it and put those little clumps of frozen pesto in a plastic freezer bag, and then it's safe. And because it's pre-frozen, they won't stick together. You can also obviously freeze it in a jar. So okay, I'm gonna move the camera hopefully so you can see what's going on over there, and then I'm gonna transfer all of this stuff into the blender. So first of all, get all this yumminess off of here, and then we'll add the olive oil, and I'm using something I haven't been able to find, and I don't know, you all let me know if you're having trouble finding stuff. Like, it used to be super easy to find these big tins of olive oil, and lately I haven't been able to find big tins of anything. So I don't know what other folks are finding out there, but it seems like definitely supply chain issues, and if you do find stuff, oh gosh, the prices are way more expensive than they were just, you know, obviously since last year, but even within the last few months. I was watching somebody else's channel, and they said how they were buying the same items, like they bought the exact same 10 items on the first of the month, like in January, and the same 10 things in February, and then they bought the same 10 things in January, and they watched how the price of those items went up each month. The exact same things purchased at the exact same store, that the prices went up. So I don't know what anybody else is finding, but it's speaking to me about the importance of growing as much food as we can, and if you have neighbors and they're also growing things, maybe coordinate this year. So if your yard is better for a certain kind of thing and their yard is better for another kind of thing, y'all could, you know, focus on what you can grow best in your yard, and then swap and trade and share would be one way to get around maybe not having, you know, the space or the right kind of lighting or something in your yard, and still be able to have food that you can share. So I'm going to sprinkle just a little bit of the cheese, and this is the Parmesan that I was showing you earlier, and I grated it. So, okay, I'm going to move you all with the camera first, and then I'll move you over there, and then we'll get the rest of the stuff put together. So hold on. There's my sweet dog on underfoot now because she smells Parmesan cheese and she knows. Over there, here. She knows she'll get a treat. The chickweed is a lot more, let's say, delicate. It's less dense than if you were just packing this thing full of basil leaves. So I think that's something to think about if you're using different plants. Of it in here. Cheese. Yeah, so that was a half a cup of olive oil and a quarter of a cup of walnuts, a quarter of a cup of grated Parmesan cheese. Go. Just gonna move the sides down a little bit. Oh my gosh. I wish y'all could smell this. It's incredible. Now obviously this is not a basil pesto. This is a chickweed and dandelion pesto with a little bit of oregano and a little bit of basil, or not, excuse me, not basil, a little bit of parsley in it. So the flavor is going to be totally different, and I am so excited to try it this afternoon. Great little thing, by the way. It's a Ninja, and a friend of mine didn't want it and she gave it to me, so I'm super happy about that. Yeah, so oh my gosh, oh wow, oh wow. All right, if you have dandelions and if you have chickweed and you have garlic and olive oil and a little bit of salt and some kind of nuts, I think y'all should make this. Anyway, thank you so much for being here. I'll see you in the next video. Have a great day. Bye.